Hey everybody, NCWQ here. The time is 9:06 a.m. So, while all of us were celebrating Christmas Eve in the world, Joe Biden was signing 50 bills into law on Christmas Eve as one of his final acts before he left the White House. With less than a month before he is set to give up the Oval Office, Biden gave sweeping authorization on Tuesday to a slew of legislation that does everything from targeting child abuse to designating the bald eagle as the country's national bird. The Stop Initial Child Abuse Act, one of the bills Biden approved, was the Stop Institutional Child Abuse Act, which was championed by celebrity Paris Hilton. Congress passed the legislation earlier this month after Hilton, widely known as a socialite and media personality, testified during a congressional hearing in June about a physical, emotional, and sexual abuse she endured while at a youth treatment facility. She stated she was strangled, hit, and that she was cut off from the outside world, that her parents had no idea and they were deceived. With Biden's signature, the legislation will create a federal work group on youth residential programs to create reported standards and act as a state guideline to determine the best treatment and placement of distressed minors in rehabilitation and other facilities. He also designated the bald eagle as the national bird. And that's another piece of legislation that he signed into law, and I did a video on that one. He signed the No Corruption Act, which is another bill that he signed that'll strip lawmakers of their taxpayer funded pension if convicted of using their office to commit corruption related offenses. Congress passed a bipartisan No Corruption Act in the wake of ex Senator Bob Menendez's bribery scandal. The legislation addressed a loophole in current law that allows lawmakers to receive pensions as long as their case is going through the courts, and it would state that all payments will be suspended upon the initial finding of guilt, with the pension restored only if an appeals court overturns the conviction. He also signed the Stop Campus Hazing Act. He signed the first ever federal anti hazing standards into law, cinching the final victory for legislation spearheaded by Republicans Lucy McBath and Jeff Duncan and Senators Amy Klobuchar and Bill Cassidy. With more than half of college students involved in some form of campus hazing, Biden's signature requires higher education institutions to report incidents disclosed to authorities in their annual security reports. The law defines hazing as any intentional, known, or reckless act committed by a person against a student that causes or is likely to contribute to a substantial risk of physical injury, mental harm, or degradation in connection to a student's affiliation with the campus organizations. Biden's Biden also signed other laws into act, and I have been looking for those, and I am trying to find some of those laws, and it is kind of hard to find all the laws that he signed because they are not posted. So I have been looking for them, and those are the few that I have found so far. Um, Let me see what else I can find. I am not finding any of the other ones, but if anybody else knows what they are, you can try to post them below the video. Um, Let me see here. The only ones that I'm finding so far are those. Anyways, you guys, I hope y'all are doing well. Please be safe. Take good care of yourselves and each other. Remember to tell somebody that you love them. Tomorrow is never promised. Anyways, you guys, may remember to make every day an adventure. Much love and God bless.